Hey guys, this is my straight out of theater review for The Conjuring Last Rites. I went into this film with very low expectations. I went in thinking I'm gonna have a good time, but you know, the Michael Chavez is kind of for me. La Llorona was absolutely freaking boring. I couldn't stand that movie. The third Conjuring film, The Devil Made Me Do It, it kind of dragged. It wasn't a terrible movie, but like going back and trying to watch it again, I find it very difficult to watch it in one sitting. It's just something about it. I don't know if it's just that it's like kind of a procedural or something. The vibe just, I don't know. It just doesn't retain my interest. I do have ADD, so maybe that's a factor. I don't know. Needless to say, I figured I made a prediction that I would like Last Rites not as much as the first two Conjuring films, but better than The Devil Made Me Do It. And in fact, I did. I was correct about that. But this film was actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It was, well, it's the most violent out of all of them. It's probably the darkest because it really does have to do, it revolves around their daughter, she's in her early 20s now. So, and there's sort of a backstory to that whole thing. I'm not going to get into spoilers, obviously. But I really liked how character-oriented the film was. And also, not for nothing, this one it had its moments where it was pretty damn scary. There was one moment in this movie, I'll admit, it got me. Like, I didn't jump. I'm pretty good. I have a good, kind of hold on things like that. But, it actually did startle me. I was sort of like, oh, fuck. I think I actually said, oh, fuck, in theater. Me and my buddy, we were laughing. So that was a very pleasant surprise. If I had to go into negatives about this movie, number one, it really could have benefited from a tighter runtime. There are certain parts of the film that kind of drag ass a little bit. And again, I really do like the fan service. I like the callbacks. I do think that I like the fact that they were very character forward with this movie. This really was about Ed and Lorraine Warren as portrayed by Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. And I appreciate that. This especially being the last movie, and I'm pretty damn sure this is the last movie. They kind of make that pretty clear. But I'm very happy that we got such a good send-off with them. There is sort of an epilogue moment in the movie that kind of dragged a little bit. There's a certain point that my friend and I were talking about where they could have cut it, and it would have been the perfect place to roll credits. It still would have been the ending that we needed, and it would have been satisfying, but it kind of went on a little bit too long. The other thing is, there's a lore about the entities in this movie, and then there's a lore behind the lore. And I personally felt that they didn't really get into that as much as maybe they could have. I feel like it would have been a little bit more interesting if we'd played around with that and if there'd been some sort of reason for its existence other than it just is. I'm not going to get into any more specific than that. I'm not going to get any more specific than that because, obviously I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but you'll know what I'm talking about when you go see it. And if you agree or disagree, let me know below and we could have a nice conversation about that. But, yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised about this movie. It is the most violent, for sure, in the whole series. Yeah, it's pretty damn good. I mean, I saw it on IMAX. That definitely enhanced the viewing. So it's gonna be the last one. Of that, I have no doubt, and I'm very happy to see that they ended it on such a positive note, and that we get this great send-off with these characters. It's funny, side note, as a Connecticut resident, the real Ed and Lorraine Warren, and no offense to them whatsoever, I actually interviewed Lorraine Warren one time for a project I was doing on Ouija boards in the 8th grade. She was very nice, very gracious, but they were snake oil salesmen. I mean, look, they went to Amityville, they went to Dudleytown, they went to all these crazy, creepy places. I have no doubt that they saw something, but I do think that I don't even think it's obvious that they embellished the shit out of it. So I think that their portrayal in these movies is very kind. But Michael Chavez, it really seems like he's starting to find his footing as a director. This one I feel was handled with a lot more care than the last one. That's just me personally. I mean, let's put it this way, you know, I feel that you'd have to be crazy to actually go into theaters and think that this was going to be as good as the first two. I think most people go in kind of expecting it not to be, and if you do, I think you'll have a pretty good time, you know. Just enjoy it. It's not like anything, oh my god, I've never seen this before. It doesn't reinvent the wheel. It's kind of a standard horror film, but it's got very likable characters, and it does have some good creepy scenes in it. So anyways, yeah, overall, definitely recommend it. And it actually turned out to be quite a pleasant surprise, honestly. So yeah, if you guys have seen it, comment below, let me know what you thought. And if not, comment after you've seen it. And yeah, thanks for watching. Consider subscribing. And that's all she wrote.